What's up, movie lovers? Don't miss your opportunity to let your comments be heard during the live broadcast every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Gotta Love Them Movies. All right, you guys, our next bit of news, it goes back to the MCU, and it's She-Hulk. We know that She-Hulk is filming. It's been in production for a little while now, and again, based on some new photos, some new set photos, we know that Mark Ruffalo is back in his mocap suit. And it also kind of looks like he's going to be continuing on this Professor Hulk kind of thing. This is what Mark Ruffalo had, this is what, who is this? Marvel News. This is what Marvel News had to say when visiting. They said, what a pleasure to meet Mark Ruffalo on the set of Marvel. Always inspired by his work. Such a cool, down-to-earth guy. It's rare to find people like this in this business. So definitely an honor to be in on the same set with him, said the caption shared alongside the images of a social media post. But yeah, let's just kind of check out some of these photos for a second here. Oh no, something went wrong. What happened? Twitter, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, Twitter? Anyway, you can kind of see some of these photos here, all collected together. And yeah, again, nothing crazy special, nothing out of the ordinary. It's just kind of, okay, here's some behind the scenes. And of course, we don't want all the details. I don't want to know everything that there is to know. Of course, we're fans. We're going to speculate. We're going to look at this and say, oh, Professor Hulk is back. And if you know anything about the story of Jennifer Walters. I keep wanting to say Jessica Walters, but, you know, that's the actor from Arrested Development. If you know anything about the character of Jennifer Walters, you know kind of what this is essentially going to be. Let's jump back into this article real quick. This is what Kevin Feige had to say about it. It's a series about a woman trying to navigate the world and be taken as a working professional, despite the fact that she's well over 6'7" and green. She wants to be taken professionally, right? Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said during Marvel's presentation at the most recent Disney Investor Day event, the Marvel boss called the series very funny before teasing the arrival of other characters from across the MCU. Since Jennifer Walters is a lawyer who specializes specifically in superhero-oriented legal cases, you never know what Marvel characters are going to pop up from episode to episode. How can you read that and not think that Daredevil is going to pop up? Maybe not Daredevil, but Matt Murdock. You guys, Matt Murdock he's gonna be in this show. He's gonna be, like, there's, he's gonna be in the show, you guys. I don't know who's going to play him. I think it would be really cool if Charlie Cox came back to play him, but like, who knows? I don't know. I love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I also really love John Bernthal as the Punisher, and if they ever like officially bring Punisher into the MCU, I think John Bernthal is the perfect Punisher. So Mike Coulter looks the part for Luke Cage. He's not the best actor, though. He's not the best actor. And this is the hill that I will die on. He's not a great actor. He looked great. Not a great actor. Also, the show was not very good. The script it needed a lot of work. Anyway, but, you know, going back to She-Hulk, I mean, it gets me excited. I mean, Jennifer Walters is kind of a wisecracker. She's a fun, colorful character, and not just because she's green. She's a fun, colorful character, and Tatiana Maslany, I think, is like one of the perfect people to cast in this role. I don't know. Like, I'm really excited for this show, you guys. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. I've really enjoyed what the MCU has done with the Hulk character over the years. I'm not a huge fan of the Professor Hulk version Not a huge fan of Mark Ruffalo playing Professor Hulk. Not because I don't like Professor Hulk, but because the way that the Russo brothers mishandled his character, they gave him nothing to do. He was there to figure out a problem. He was there to start the process of figuring out time travel. That was it. That was it. That was it. Which Tony Stark figured out anyway. He figured out what they were doing wrong. So you didn't even need Professor Hulk, in that role. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting too hung up on the Professor Hulk thing, but to see Professor Hulk, and I think that's exactly going to be the necessary transition for Jennifer Walters to become She-Hulk. We know that she gets sick and she needs a blood transfusion, and she gets one from her cousin, Bruce Banner. And, not his decision, not anyone else. It was just kind of like, hey, she needs a blood transfusion, and then she becomes She-Hulk. So I do think that this is going to be chock full of comedy. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It might have like a little Ally McBeal feel to it, or like a Veronica Mars kind of feel to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is going to turn out to be. But guys, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about She-Hulk? What are you looking forward to? What do you think the story is going to be? Jump on down to the comment section below. Nerdzone says, imagine She-Hulk being Marvel Law and Order. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I can totally see how that's going to play out. One case in She-Hulk can be the release of Abomination. We know that Abomination is making an appearance in the She-Hulk television series. And I assume it's Tim Roth. I'm pretty sure it's Tim Roth coming back to play Abomination. I'm very much looking forward to that, because Abomination was actually kind of a decent villain who didn't die in the MCU. So now that the Avengers have gone off and had all these incredible adventures, where's Abomination been? So I think that's going to be a big part of it, of the story of where has Abomination been this whole time? Where's Tim Roth's character been this whole time? Don't forget the Professor Hulk snap. Okay. So, yes. But that wasn't... Okay, so what Nerdzone is referencing is, earlier in the show, I said that there was no reason for Professor Hulk to be there, except for him to start the process of time travel, which Tony Stark inevitably finished and figured out the kinks and whatever. He's like, no, you guys are doing it wrong. The Morbius strip needs to be inverted, or like whatever logic he used there, whatever. Doesn't matter. There was narratively very little purpose for Professor Hulk to be there. Narratively. Now, as you point out, it was narratively necessary to have Hulk snap his fingers once Hulk got the gauntlet on and whatever. It was not necessary for it to be Professor Hulk. Not necessarily. I mean, maybe, yes. You needed Hulk. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Yes, you needed Hulk there because he had the stamina. He had the mass. He had the strength, the physical strength to endure what it takes to snap your fingers, right? With the gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet. And I can understand the argument. That you need that it needs to be Professor Hulk to snap his fingers, because you need to have the presence of mind. You have to understand what it is that you're snapping back into existence. And the rest of the team needs to have those assurances to know that if you give it to if you give it to Professor Hulk as opposed to Hulk, that you're going to have that clarity of mind. I understand that. But if that's the only thing, that's the only reason for Professor Hulk to be there, okay. But the way the Russo brothers handled Hulk was so poor. I needed to see what was his... It was... Last we saw of Hulk, before Endgame, was, I'm too scared to come out of my shell. Bruce Banner can fight this this fight on his own without me. Thanos just kicked my butt. I'm scared of Thanos. I'm out of here. I'm not coming out. So there is a more interesting story to see what was... so I'm going off on a tangent here. There's a more interesting story there than just... hey, we need Professor Hulk to snap his fingers at the end of the movie, so we're just going to have Professor Hulk. I want to see that transition. What was the thought process there? Maybe if we can get a standalone Hulk movie that takes place between Infinity War and Endgame that shows us that transition, maybe I could get down with that. I don't think that's going to happen. Because Universal Studios owns the distribution rights to any other standalone Hulk movie. So no, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, you do bring up a good point. It didn't make a lot of sense to me why Professor Hulk was the way that he was without any explanation. And they gave a brief explanation, but it did not feel earned. And I could go off on it for a while longer. Nerdzone says,
hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Batman from the animated series would want you to do. His name is Batman.